Back everyone. We have another special guest with us tonight, renowned author Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who will be giving us the scoop on his famed novel, One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. Here's Sam with the interview.
Today I'm here with the famed author of One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, Alexander Solzhenitsyn.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
Mr. Solzhenitsyn, what exactly inspired you to write this novel?
Okay. I've had first-hand experience in Soviet labor camps, and having been imprisoned from 1945 to 1953 for writing a flippant comment in a letter to a friend about the conduct of the war by Joseph Stalin, whom I called the Whiskered One. It was an ignorant mistake.
Oh, indeed it was. Now, can you please give us a brief overview of the plot of the novel?
Ivan Denisovich has been sentenced to a camp in the Soviet Gulag system, accused of becoming a spy after being captured by the Germans as a prisoner of war during World War II. He is innocent, but is nonetheless punished by the government for being a spy. The novel follows one day in his monotonous life in camp.
Fascinating. Now, in the novel, Ivan Denisovich himself is a rather simpleton. Yet this novel is essentially based on your life, correct?
Yeah.
Yet you have a double degree in physics and mathematics from Rostov University. Why did you decide to portray Ivan this way?
Well, simply put, this allowed the reader to connect with the average Russian. In reality, most of the men in Russia weren't educated. This tweak in real life allowed me to emphasize the plight of the people of the Soviet Union.
The thing I found rather odd, though, was that Ivan had no real driving passion in camp to keep him sane. Aryoshev had religion. So what did you do yourself to keep yourself sane for the 8 years that you yourself were imprisoned?
For the years in prison, I taught mathematics and physics in a primary school. During my hard and lonely existence, I also wrote prose in secret.
Now, why do you think this novel has become the icon that it is today?
One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich brought the Soviet system of prison labor to the attention of the West. It caused as much sensation in the Soviet Union as it did in other countries. It caused as much sensation in the Soviet Union as it did in the West. Not only by its striking realism, but also because it was the first major piece of Soviet literature since the 20s. On a politically charged theme, written by a non-party member, even by a man who had been to Siberia for inappropriate speech about Stalin. And still, it had to be censored. In this sense, the publication of my story was an almost unheard of instance of free, unrestrained discussion of politics through literature.
That's incredibly interesting. One thing as a reader of this novel, though, what would you say, as the author, the theme is?
The theme of the book is that the instinct for survival is the most important driving force of human nature.
That's amazing. Now, why exactly would you say this?
Survive becomes paramount. It overtakes the cold, the hunger, the deep sense of loneliness. It is sort of like the Lord of the Flies. Every man reverts back to his basic nature.
Now, just because I'm curious, what happened to Ivan after he left the camp?
I'm not sure. Who really needs to know?
That's it, viewers. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. Now, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, for taking the time out of your busy day to interview with me.
What an intelligent fellow. We'll be back after the break with some startling breaking news.